Hello everybody and welcome back to our Final Fantasy tier list for Final Fantasy jobs. Any healers that are not White Mages, because we've done a very long White Mage list. Now it's time for the healers that we don't really ever talk about. Now we're not talking about the Final Fantasy 11 and Final Fantasy 14 jobs, we're talking about characters. So, we all know White Mages, we all know how strong White Mages are, but there are other classes that can heal in the Final Fantasy universe, and we're gonna start with the Final Fantasy 3 Scholar. Just run White Mage. The game even forces you, hey DJ, hope you're doing well. The game forces you to use Scholar for the one skill, like the whole scan to find elemental weaknesses. You can beat the boss without using it, but the game has to force you to use it for you to understand how the job works. It's just bad. If you really want a healer at that point, just run White Mage. Just Scholar is unfortunately just not good in FF3. But you know what's better? Bard. Bard will heal better. Bard has more utility than Scholars do in FF3. You can't change my mind. I have this discussion on stream multiple times with our friend Fitz, and Scholar in FF3 is just so bad. So terrible. So terrible. Just don't do it. Just run White Mage. End of story. White Mage until you have Devout will last you, but if you want a healer, don't go Scholar. Go Bard if you really want to, okay? The same advice for Crystal Eye Conflict. Don't use Scholar, really? In Final Fantasy IV, we have everybody's favorite bard, and yes, he does have a healing song that you can use. For some reason, Edward. I have no beef with Edward. Like, he's not bad. He's a cute character. He gets more hate than he should. He's actually very useful with the whole Dark Elf, Dark Imp boss. I think I'm gonna put him like B tier. He's not bad. I don't know why people make fun of him. I think he does what he can, and he does it for love. And I think that's cute. Final Fantasy V Bard. Hello? He's very good. They have, I've spoken about this in other tier lists, but they have the whole healing thing that they can do. They have the stop song, the love song. Bards are very good. They're fast enough so you can even use them as item users. There is a lot that you can do with them. I think they're A tier because they are very useful for specific dungeons, and they have the utility on top of healing. I've had to use bards in my 4-job fiesta. I think it was the last one. It took me a bit to fully understand, but I now understand that they're very OP. And then there's a class in Final Fantasy V, the Game Boy Advance version specifically, called the Oracle, which I know absolutely nothing about. Before making this video, I was looking it through. They have some heals, they have some Asuna, they have some elemental damage. Like, I feel like they are absolutely another utility healer. If you just want pure heals, just go White Mage. Like, they have Healing Wind, they have Blessing, which gives you some regen, they have Holy damage, but they also have all the other elemental damage. They can inflict instant death, they have non-elemental, they're a magic class. I don't know anything about the Oracles. Bottom B tier because I don't know them, but I feel like, bring a Blue Mage. I do one day want to play the FF5 Game Boy version so that I can understand a little bit more about the 4 extra classes, but I just don't know anything. Therefore, bottom of B tier, pure neutral. FF6, the healers we've already classified. FF7 was kind of Aerith. FF8 doesn't have a dedicated healer. 9 doesn't. 9 does, but they're White Mages. 10 is a White Mage. 11, who knows? 12, it can be anybody. 13, there's no dedicated White Mage or healer. Technically, it's Hope. So that brings us to Final Fantasy 14 with Alphino, who is... So, I've never really cared for Alphino. I know he's like the BFF of Warrior of Life. It's just not the best. He just annoys me because I don't know, like he's like always there. He has all these visions, which good for you, buddy. You can have all the visions you want. Have dreams, follow your dreams. I understand this, but like he's a little annoying and pushy about it sometimes, and I'm like little cringe. And like he's like, oh, we'll disband, and they're not disbanded, let's be honest. Like the whole, like I'm not a fan of the twins anymore. Started neutral, and as the story has progressed, I'm like, I like them less and less. So it's another one of those really good if you know how to abuse it, but it seems like it's an RNG class. Am I wrong to assume that, Leth? Implying Riku isn't your main healer. Well, we put Riku in chemist, so she is a healer as a chemist in a way. The other main healer that isn't a white mage in the Final Fantasy XIV universe is Uriaojai. I really like that character. I feel like he's always shouldering some kind of burden to save the world that he can't tell anybody because he respects the wishes of others. It took me a while to be able to read what he means because as a French person, his English confused the heck out of me. But I feel like he's always doing things for the good of good, if that makes sense. There is another spoiler. Another healer? I'm trying to think. How far spoilery though? But yeah, I really like Uriaojai. I think he's got a really good storyline that confused the heck out of me at the beginning. And I enjoyed it a lot. I think he's a good character. I like that he's the astrologian and basically the only astro in the Final Fantasy universe. People say it's a Yu-Gi-Oh class, but it's a Cardcaptor Sakura class. So argue with me in the comments below if you disagree, because he's a Cardcaptor Sakura class. This is why Astro's my main healer. I really enjoy that class. It's like Gambler, but with healing. So he's not really attacking with cards. Like he's not throwing cards for damage, but he's got the cards. Like, I think it's pretty cool. So that's basically the end of the mainline Final Fantasy. They ruined, oh yeah, so he used to have Balthier's voice actor, Gideon Emery, and then they changed it. That was the only voice acting change that I did not agree with, and I was really annoyed because I thought he had the sexiest voice. I still think Gideon Emery has the sexiest voice in the world. I will openly say this. Like, Matt Mercer's there too. Ignis's voice actor is fantastic as well. I'm blanking. Cardcaptor better to yes, 100%. I used to be a huge Cardcaptor fan. I watched it all in French and all in English. Sailor Moon too, but that's not cards. Okay, so yes, so now we have to go through the spin-offs, and the only really healer in Type 0 is Deuce. And I'm sorry, but like, she's D tier, okay? Her flute is so fucking annoying, excuse my language. Like, I just can't. It gives me a headache. In Opera Omnia, her flute was even worse. I just cannot stand it. I don't particularly like her personality. I'm just not a fan. Sailor Moon can kick Goku's, 100%. Sailor Moon is the most powerful being. Fight me. Now let's jump into Final Fantasy Tactics. We have bards. Are they a healer? Well, they have a healing dance. Between bards and dancers, so somebody had asked earlier, is songstress the same as bards? No, because songstress don't generally heal, they debuff. Bards are probably, I don't really utilize them. The life song is very useful. Nameless song, whatever, is actually really cool too. I do actually probably put them top of B tier. They're very good, but you have to know how to utilize them. And you have to know, like, the fact that their songs are map wide is very strong. Same thing with dancers. Incredibly powerful if you have other characters to carry you. A bard will not carry you. A bard won't take you very far, unfortunately. Then the last one in Final Fantasy Tactics, we have a calculators or arithmetician or whatever you want to call them. Okay. Incredibly slow class, but incredibly powerful class. It's one of the class where if you've built a mage and you've multi-classed into mages, end game, you could go into calculator with an auto haste accessories. Please haste your mathematician, because you'll cry if you don't. We all know how OP math is in Final Fantasy Tactics. It's a meme at this point. If you've never played Final Fantasy Tactics and you wanted to give the math a shot, go for it. Just be ready to do math, because you have to understand the maps and how the map's height and distance works. You have to understand the CT, like mathematician is the final exam of, do you understand the Final Fantasy game mechanics? Because if you don't, you're gonna kill yourself. But if you do, you're in a good spot. So there is many speedrun strats of Final Fantasy Tactics that utilize mathematicians. They basically grind until they can unlock it, and then they just steamroll through the game. It's very entertaining to watch. It's very good. And then last but not least, in the Final Fantasy Tactics category, we have Final Fantasy Tactics A2 with Herdy. He's so cute. He has a heal song. He can do really good at healing because he's a magic-based character. I have to put him S tier. As soon as I unlocked him in my run, he was a permanent party member. I finished his songs, then I went Black Mage, then I went all sorts of heals. Like, he was very strong. He's my favorite Moogle of all the Moogles in the Final Fantasy universes, all of them. And I honestly think, like, he's so cute. He is so freaking cute. So I think that's it for healers. I don't think I would change any of this. Urianger, Herdy, and then the Final Fantasy V bards are the top other healers. That does not include White Mages and does not include the OP chemists that are out there. I wouldn't change anything, but would you switch some stuff up and down? Please let me know in the comments below, or let me know in Twitch right now. We can discuss a little bit more. So if you're watching from YouTube, thank you so much for watching. If you're watching from Twitch, we have one more to do, and so we'll get to it right after this. Bye. Bye, YouTube.